Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Amari Hunt, the czar of the playbook, here with our senior draft analyst, Chris James, and he's going to unveil his top 15 for 2015. Talking about the NFL draft, Chris. Now, we're going to take a look at your list, but there's some guys that are just outside the list. Let's say like a running back in Melvin Gordon out of Wisconsin. Why would he not be in your top 15?
While he has electrifying speed and the ability to be a game breaker, Melvin Gordon doesn't possess the immediate tool that you need to be a successful NFL running back, and that's the extreme vision to find a hole that's not there. While he has talent, he doesn't have that skill set yet. Hopefully he develops it this year.
There's another guy that's just outside your list. You look at Noah Spence from Ohio State, great defensive lineman. Why would he not be in your top 15?
Noah Spence has to be more consistent for me. While he does get in the backfield, he's a disruptive force, and he can even play against the run. Noah Spence has been suspended a couple of times. I need to make sure that he's all there and all in for 2014 before I draft him in 2015.
And A.J. Tarpley is another guy you mentioned off camera that didn't make the top 15. What about him that has him just outside that elite 15?
He's a playmaker. While he does participate well in that defense, he's going to be the signal caller this year with the absence of Shane Scove. I want to see if Tarpley, who is limited compared to a guy like Denzel Perryman, I want to see if he's able to really be that guy this year and take over and be the captain. If so, he might be able to move into that top 15.
Well, without further ado, let's take a look at your top 15.
And we're going to start with the Heisman Trophy winner from 2013, Jameis Winston from Florida State. A good mix of size, strength, and the intelligence to actually move the ball forward down the field and put his team in a position to win. Winston can only get better from this point forward and should prove to be an adequate force in 2014 for the Florida State Seminoles. Sticking with that position at quarterback, Marcus Mariota is up next from Oregon. A guy who's gotten better and better each year. He understands now that it's all about making plays that matter for your team. Not negative ones, but positive ones. And he's done that, and I don't expect it to get better in his redshirt junior year. Sticking in the backfield with them, I'm going to go with the running back position, TJ Yeldon. A guy who has an opportunity, if he were to stick with Alabama, to become the all-time leading rusher. A mix of size and strength with quickness. TJ Yeldon is a guy who really does embody everything that you want in a running back, including the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. SEC guy named Todd Gurley out of Georgia. Gurley is a man amongst boys from the moment he stepped foot on campus at Georgia. Runs tough, but one of the things that could stop him or hinder him is his affinity for running into people and not around them. I think he'll improve and work on that this year and get much better on his way to entering the 2015 NFL Draft. On the fringes, the wide receiver position, Amari Cooper from Alabama. This kid is a smooth route runner with the speed to beat you over the top, but the precision efforts to get in and out of his breaks and really dominate you in the passing game. Look for Cooper to be a big force this year for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Stefon Diggs from Maryland, a guy who stayed local and really proved to help out his quarterback C.J. Brown. Stefon Diggs is a guy who also runs amazing routes, great speed, adequate size, and he's going to show you that it's not just a game at the receiver position. On the offensive line, Cameron Irving, left tackle for the Florida State Seminoles, national champion that is, Florida State Seminoles. Irving was one of my top linemen last year at the tackle position. He only came back to get better and stronger and also improve technique. Watch out for him as he's balanced on both defending against the pass and being able to push forward against the run. Ernest Grassu out of Oregon is a kid at center who is a good balance of both strength and technique. Playing very well, mirroring and also being able to notice where the extra blitzer is coming from. This kid is ready for the NFL right now, so with another year of seasoning, he should only get better. Vic Beasley from Clemson. He's a little undersized for the defensive end position in some people's opinion at 235 pounds. I'm sure that this season he'll be mixing in a little bit of his coverage skills with that pass rushing ability, which will give him the opportunity to be versatile enough to play outside linebacker in the 3-4 or defensive end in the 4-3. Another defensive end, a different type, but a guy who's just as effective, in Mario Edwards out of Florida State. This guy has gotten into shape, which has put him in the position to really dominate from a position of the defensive end on the outside, 5 technique. Whatever he wants to play, he can do it because he defends well against the run, which is his strength, but he can get up the field and rush the quarterback. Another guy is Dante Fowler from Florida. Fowler is one of those guys that you can put in space, can put wherever you need to on the defensive line, and he can be effective. An uber athlete who really shows at any point in time on tape. In the cog in the middle for the defensive line, Carl Davis, defensive tackle from Iowa. He can really help whatever linebacker is behind him. He can take on the double team while also being able to penetrate and get to the quarterback if necessary. And one of the guys he would protect if they were on the same squad, Denzel Perryman from Miami. A true middle linebacker in the sense that he also leads from the position and plays against the run and the pass very well. Ifo Ekpe-Olumu, cornerback out of Oregon, is a guy who was highly touted coming out of high school, a guy who could have entered the NFL draft and been drafted last year, but now he's going to come back and work on his skill set. Heat-seeking missile who breaks on the ball very well. His footwork is still something to be desired, but I think that this senior season will help him get better with it. And last but not least, Landon Collins, free safety out of Alabama. This guy is a mix of Ed Reed and Eric Berry, in my opinion. He can play down in the box, but he is a traditional center fielder who can protect on the back end for any defense. So those are my top 15 for 2015. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to discuss any of these guys. My Twitter handle is CJFlorida9. I'll have more in-depth coverage of the young men who are eligible for the 2015 draft at Football Gameplan /draft. And you can also listen to my show, which is weekly, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Draft Prospect Analysis Show on the Football Gameplan Radio Network.